And the QR code is going.
Okay, folks, here we are, week number 4. Welcome to the QR code. I'm Razor. You got my partner Q on the other
The
side there.
evil genius.
He was genius. Well, he's half of that anyway. So, and this week we're gonna dive in. And we're 3-0, and we're all a little bit like giddy from this unexpected 3-0 start. Well, I didn't expect it, and neither did he. But we're gonna take it, and we're gonna move along. On to the Packers, our favorite rivals.
Wait, well, to be fair, I said we'd be 2-1 at the end of the week.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yes, you did.
and then
So,
right into 2-2. So, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
hmm
But
well, I think at this stage in the season, for every team, really for every team, you're 3 games in. Nobody really knows at the start of the season what a team's going to be, what it's going to look like on paper. But as they say, they don't play the games on paper. So now that we've seen this team, we've seen the offense, we've seen the defense, we've seen Sam Darnold, somebody that nobody's seen really get a chance. I think it's fair that even the national media is adjusting their prediction. Vegas hasn't adjusted their prediction, of course, but some of them we may even have to do like a maybe halfway through the season reshuffle of our predictions. But for now, we're gonna stick with it. I'm sticking 8 and 9. I haven't seen this team on the road yet, except with the Giants, and that doesn't really count as a road game because the Giants don't have a team, and
that's true.
and they're
And they just got torched for another touchdown by CD Lamb just now.
oh, that's great. That's great. Unfortunately, you can't do play by play because that's a violation of the NFL regulations. But but
Yeah,
but you could say that much. That's
yeah.
good.
No, no.
Oh wait, wait.
There's a
Wait.
rumor that CD Lamb torched the
Oh,
Giants.
and and that breaks my heart because I mistakenly started him in my fantasy football league, which I'm 2-1, and you're what again in that?
I'm 0-3. And
Okay, just
the
check.
worst part about it is for points for I'm not the worst. In fact, I'm like fourth from the bottom, which means I'm scoring points. I'm just not winning.
Well,
That goes back to it doesn't matter how many points you win or lose, but you win or you lose.
that's right.
So
The Chicago White Sox, and I'm wearing my beloved New York Mets shirt today because I'm looking forward to the Chicago White Sox breaking our 62-year, 63-year record of being the worst team in baseball. The Chicago White Sox, I believe, are now 2 games away from losing 103 games. No, 130 games, whatever it is. But they're in the throes of losing. All they have to lose is one or two more games, and even their own media is riding that. They just post, "Hey, we scored fewer points than the other team. We scored fewer points than the other team," and so much so that the White Sox accidentally won a game, and their official White Sox Twitter said, "For the scores, check MLB.com." So they didn't even want to announce the win. But anyway, getting back to Vikings football, getting back to Vikings football. This
getting
week,
back to Vikings football this
Vikings
week.
football, the frozen, well, not so frozen because of September, tundra of Lambeau
Yes, the
Field.
September tundra. Can
It's
you
like,
imagine how awesome this is? That
this
we're
is.
actually seeing the Packers the first. We see them first on the road before the snow falls.
It's unbelievable.
And
It's warm in Minnesota. It's warm in Green Bay.
but has Love been announced the starter yet?
Well, he was limited in practice, and I think they're going to pull an okey doke where they may play both Willis and Love. They may play them both. I don't
Hmm.
think it matters, but that's going to be a little later
Ask,
in this episode when I make my predictions.
Ask Brock Purdy about that. But
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
because I Jordan, I don't think either one makes a difference. I was talking to a friend the other day who's also a Viking fan, and he's like, "No, I want Love to play," and I'm like, "Why?" Because I want to beat them with their very best on the field. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to beat them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I just want to win every time. If we have 14 people on the field and the refs never catch it, and the refs
Yes.
never catch it, I don't care.
Okay.
Oh,
You
but
don't.
people all the time. I don't care. All I want is the win.
There are no
Okay,
style points in the NFL. Nobody
I'm
cares
hip.
how you won. It's a W
I'm
in
hip.
the column. It's a W in the column. So that being
I'm,
said, I'm guessing you're predicting that the Packers blow us out this week.
I didn't pick a blow. Actually, I predicted that this would be one of the 5 games that the Vikings would lose.
Yes, you did.
How delightfully surprised I am that the defense spurs the offense and the offense spurs the defense, and they just click all together. Oh, and special teams can get you a couple of good field goals or something. So, um, like I said, I was hoping you'd say, "Hey, let's shuffle some wins and losses again," but
Not yet. Too early.
no, not yet. I get it. I get it. I get it. So I'm gonna take my one miss this time.
Okay.
Because I picked the Packers to win.
Okay. So you're going to change that prediction now.
No, I picked the Packers to win.
So
I
as of
picked.
right now, you still think the Packers are going to win?
I know. I don't think they're going to
Oh,
win, but
well,
I
I'm
can't
asking you
change
for your prediction now. I'm asking you for
my prediction now.
we already know
Hold
what
on.
we predicted
I
before
don't
the
care
season.
I don't care who the quarterback is. The Vikings are going to win this game.
Okay, so that's your prediction.
Yeah.
Do you have a score prediction?
All right. How about this? 28-17.
Okay, 28-17.
Write that down because
yeah,
I'm not moving. I'm not going to be moving, but 28-17. Write this down.
Yeah, so you're saying no field goals in this game. It's going to be 4 touchdowns or somehow a safety and 2 field goals are going to come out 28 points. Okay.
27-7, 27-17.
I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm not
No,
trying
no,
to
no,
talk you
no.
out of it.
You're absolutely right. But let's say 27-17.
Okay.
Final answer.
Okay, 27-17.
Now write it down. Now write that down.
Now I'm going to say that given what I've seen, given the evidence in front of me, and the fact that the situation has changed, I thought that at this point Jordan Love would have 3 games under his belt with this new team. He does not. Jordan Love is not 100%. And even if he was, I'm not sure how much difference that would make, given that there is no home field advantage in Green Bay this time of year with the weather. I'm going to say that the Vikings surprise the Packers, and we're going to have another 3-score victory. I'm going to say we're going to have a 3-score victory. I think the defense scores at least once. At least once. I think we're going to see a Lambeau leap, but not by a Packer. and I think that we're going to see
Aaron Jones.
That's right, Aaron Jones. He's gonna look into the end zone. He's gonna find some purple. He's gonna find a bunch of Vikings fans that pay for those upfront seats, and they're gonna get rewarded because Aaron Jones is gonna land in their lap. And I think that Sam Darnold is going to put on a show. He's going to prove that he is just not just an inside home player. He can beat a real team. He's beaten 2 very good teams, but beating very good teams when you have 65,000 screaming fans behind you is a lot easier. When you have 4 or 5 consecutive offensive penalties, false starts because they can't hear, and that building is ruckus. And
yeah, I'll agree, but you know what? I'll agree, but there is one thing to be said about that, and that is game 1 against the Giants. While the Giants are not a good team, the one thing that the Vikings were able to do was, well, they were able to quite handily beat a bad team that they were, because sometimes people play down to people either play up or down to their competition.
We generally would.
Vikings, we were better than the Giants, and we showed it. So that was something that set the tone. And of course, that's one of those things where people like popped their heads up and went, "Oh, the Vikings." And then week 2, oh, okay, this we might take a little notice. Now we have what's starting to look like a body of work now. And they were talking about that on Purple Daily, like nothing really changed. They handled their business the way they did. They don't prepare for different quarterbacks the same way. You and I talked about that. And it humbled quarterbacks that have played in Super Bowls. I mean, Brock Purdy was tweeting things like, "Oh, this is unreal how this defense,
Mhm.
slapped me around."
Mhm.
They and C.J. Stroud, that this kid is amazing.
Yes, he is.
Uh, the most humble and humble guy too, but he was not looking like a young quarterback that can be shaken easily. He's gone through his whole rookie season and the first two games of this season, and he'd only thrown 5 interceptions.
Mm.
The Vikes turned him over twice in one game. So he had
His
almost
first
as
drive.
many as he
In
played
his
all
first
his whole
drive.
season. So, you know, I'm thinking that, and all I wish was, man, why don't we just go week to week instead of picking your team instead of picking for the year? Boo.
You,
But
I, that's
there's twists and turns that'll get me to 12-5 also. So I'm not even going to worry about that. But um,
well.
I'm excited. But
You
yeah, the
have to you
Vikings will win, but I picked them to lose.
well you have to take the season the way the general manager, the way the owners, the way the coaches do. You get the schedule. There's a reason the NFL makes a big deal of their schedule release. And the schedules come out, and national people, individuals, we all look at the schedules, like, and even the players, they pencil in WL. This is a win. This is a loss. This is a tough game. This is an easy game.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 or 5 weeks into the season, nobody knows. Like the Miami Dolphins was set to run roughshod over everybody. Now they don't have their quarterback. Things change. This time last year, we were at what we 1-4 to start the season.
Yeah.
So we'd only had one victory in our first 5 games. We've got three already. We've got three already.
Mm-hmm.
For us to lose 4 times as many games as we've won, we'd have to lose the rest of the season. Okay, so it
Right.
it like I said, I keep saying this. I just want this team to be competitive. I want the game to be exciting, and so far they have been. I think that this will be our first test going into Lambeau on the road, hostile environment because it's still the Packers. It's still the Packers. It's still the Packer fans, and those fans show up. There will be Vikings fans there. We always have. I've been in that stadium many times, but you won't see a sea of purple. You won't see
Right.
a sea of purple there. And they love their Packers. So no matter who's on the field, we have to handle our business, no
Yeah.
matter who's there. Right. So
And I will be checking out the injury report too, because that's been kind of just crazy with the people that we got out, and yet they're still able to meticulously do what they do.
we're
So
deep.
will Jordan Addison be back with the ankle? Um,
That's unlikely. I don't think he's playing this week.
yeah, and my gosh,
And we
who
don't need
the
him.
heck is Johnny Munt?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
He's the third best tight end in the National Football League. Ask Kevin O'Connell. He said that in the preseason. Johnny Munn is the third best tight end in the National Football League. I'm sorry, he's the best third tight end in the National Football League. He was with him in with the Rams, and he brought him over here. This man, he's the next Chris Carter. All he does is catch touchdowns and
well,
block people.
Munt did his thing, man. I gotta give it up, and just Aaron Jones just did such an amazing job doing, just bringing balance to that offense. And then the defense. Oh, Dallas Turner couldn't play. It doesn't matter. they still got after. They still got after the quarterback. Still did that, and no one's talking trash about the Vikings secondary. Why? Because the linebacker play has been superb. The defensive line play, especially on the edges, have just been amazing. So, it's doing the defense is what it is. B Flow is just killing it.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. It's great to see all three facets of the team, the offense, the defense, the special teams, playing well. And that's what you need. I don't think this is a Super Bowl team. I don't even think we're making the playoffs. But to see that, once again, Kevin O'Connell can take Sam Darnold and make him look this good. He could take Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, and Shayla. He could take anybody. He could take anybody and make them look this good. Means when JJ McCarthy steps on the field, after one full year of watching this team play, one full year of learning the playbook without being under duress at any point, it's gonna be amazing. And to think about the salary cap room we have and what we can surround him with. I mean, we're 16 deep right now on our defense. We're rotating guys in and out just to keep them fresh, and it's great.
Yeah.
It is great.
Yep.
So,
It sure is.
but my score prediction for this game is 31 to 13.
Ooh.
31 to 13 Vikings. I think we will allow a garbage time touchdown and 2 field goals. That's my prediction. I think our defense is going to make huge plays, and our defense doesn't get scored on a lot. We're not getting scored on a lot. So I
No,
want
no.
I want to I want to see how it comes out. Okay. Anyway, so now that we've covered the Packers, and you still say we're going to lose, I say we're going to win,
Well,
right?
no.
Uh,
We're going to win the game, but on
well,
paper,
well, no, I'm
on
not
our
talking about paper. I'm saying
no. I'm
what do
saying,
you?
but I was saying that no, the Vikings will win 27-17.
Okay, 27-17. Okay, so
Yes,
20,
it'll
and
be a two
so we
score
both said
win.
so right now we're both saying as of tonight, we're saying that 2 days before the game, 3 days before the game, we're saying the Vikings will win. Okay,
Yes.
okay. On to your random game of the week.
All right. This is gonna freak you. You're gonna go what? All right. So the Los Angeles Rams at the Chicago Bears, and there are a couple of things the Rams are finding a way to make things happen with nothing, because Nakua is out, and we don't know what's going on with that Rams team, but I want to see because the Bears are a division rival. I really want to see if they're really as bad as all that. And as it's starting to look, uh, Justin Fields is probably sitting in Pittsburgh now, going, "Hey, it's not me, it's you."
Yeah, exactly right.
He's down in Pittsburgh undefeated, and the fact that he also did not go into Pittsburgh the starter, so
Nope. Well,
uh, he's moved his way to the front. But I told you this in conversations that we had. I said Justin Fields had he had a respect from his teammates in that locker room, and when that happens, usually it has nothing to do with teammates not having confidence in you as a player. And if you're the quarterback and your team's going, "Why are you trading our guy?" That's when you know. So now, okay, they drafted Caleb Williams, and they're still hot garbage, and they're still hot garbage. Justin Fields is 3-0. So, but I just want to see where the Bears go from there.
so you think the Bears win this week?
No, not really. But it's very interesting. I just want to see. I'd like to see how it shakes out. But I do think the Rams kind of get back on track too.
That's a game I hadn't looked at that game at all, but just my gut tells me this could be a long downward spiral for the Bears. The Bears, they did what I think we should have done 2 years ago. They decided just to clean house. They said Ryan Poles said, I want to wipe everything out and start from scratch. I think he said that to the Wolves when he interviewed for the job here, and they said, "Thanks, have a nice day, Ryan." Next, they didn't have an appetite for that, but the Bears got draft picks out of it. They got into a rebuilding stage. I'm not a fan of throwing a rookie quarterback into a team that's really not good. Patriots did it. I mean, the God
Wow.
knows the Panthers. And there was an interesting comment that was made today. It was Judd Zolgad on Purple Daily said that no, I believe it was Phil Mackey who said that the Carolina Panthers have had 3 head coaches in the last 20 months. In the last 20 months,
Wow.
the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 3 head coaches since the 60s. Okay, so since the 1960s, they've had 3 head coaches. Carolina Panthers have had 3 in less than 2 years. That's all you need to know about that franchise. But the Bears, I don't know how that game is going to come out, but I think this is a get right game for the Rams because I don't really think the Bears. I think the
It's a
Bears start their
scrimmage.
slide.
I think it's just going to be a scrimmage.
Mm,
It's like,
it
hey,
might be.
let's practice some trick plays today.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
practice. Just
Is,
I don't think it's
is
going
that
to be. Yeah,
is that where is that game? Is that game in Los Angeles?
Chicago.
It's in Chicago. Hmm. Well, maybe they can pray for some cold weather to sneak up from somewhere, but I don't know.
Nah,
Caleb Williams may
cold
become
weather's
he
going
may
to
become a
happen.
Hall of Famer. Hmm.
He
Caleb,
won't do it in Chicago.
yeah, I say yeah, he may become a Hall of Famer at some point, but this team is not a quarterback away from anything. They just aren't. I mean, we weren't a quarterback away when back in 2016. We weren't a quarterback away back in 2018. We haven't been a quarterback away since I guess since Randall Cunningham. So it's hard to be a team that's great, but you just don't have a quarterback because teams that just don't have a quarterback are almost never great. So
Right?
uh, anyway, all right. So um, this week, off the random comment is my try to get this thing off. My random Viking hat of the week cap. This back in the days when Reebok used to be the official NFL merchandiser. I got this. This was 2007. So some of you may have not have been born at that point. You were in your 70s, 60s in that back then, I think. Um, Brad Childress, remember him? He was our head coach.
Colonel Klink.
Yeah, Colonel Click. Yes, he was our head coach. We went 8-8 that year, missed the playoffs. But I remember this season, I went to 3 straight games because scheduling just worked out that way. Went to a Metrodome game, then I went to home game at Giant Stadium, and then I went to another Metrodome game. And we played let's see, who did we play? We played the first game. Jeez, it'll lose me. It's escaping me. I think it was the Raiders. Yeah, we played the Raiders in the dome. Chester Taylor. The opening drive, touchdown. Place went nuts. We just whooped them. We whooped up on them. They had no chance. It was. I think we won by a touchdown that game. Excuse me. The following week, fly back to Jersey. We go to the game at the Meadowlands. Sidney Rice, remember him? He
Yep.
was a rookie. We drafted him. Tavares Jackson. Sidney
Yep.
Rice, opening drive. Sidney Rice touchdown. And I'm thinking, this is great. Scripted plays, working like crazy. Nobody's catching on. Excellent. Tavares Jackson, I think that was the season that he got hurt and things just went, south for him. Rest in peace, Tavares Jackson. Um, the following week, went back to Minneapolis, went to the Viking game and the opening drive. Once again, Chester Taylor rushed in for a touchdown. So I think there were like 5 straight weeks that our scripted drives, our opening drives, went for touchdowns. I mean, this is 2007. This was Brad Childress, who was supposed to be an offensive guru, if you recall,
Yep.
because of what he did with Donovan McNabb in Philadelphia. And then we found out that it wasn't him calling the plays. Well, we knew that
Andy
then.
Reid the whole time, man.
The whole time it was Andy Reid. And the further Childress got away from Andy Reid, the more we realized how brilliant Andy Reid was and how little Childress knew about football. Oh my goodness, he ran that team into the ground. That the 2007, like so, we went 8-8 that year, and
And does he have a job now? He's not doing anything
well,
now.
he's got to be 90 by now, so he's probably not working. I mean, Andy Reid is still in the league, but yeah,
So they have
Brad Childress was fired. He that was the year Mike Tomlin left the team that year, 2007, to go take the job with Pittsburgh, a job he still holds. 17 years later, 18 years later, still holds that job as head coach at
without a losing season.
without a losing season. We replaced him with Leslie Frazier, who became the interim coach when they fired Childress. And it didn't really work out well for Les either. As a matter of fact, we've had 2 head coaches named Les, and it didn't really work out for either one. Frazier or Steckel. Frazier or Steckel. It didn't work out well.
Yeah, they're
So,
bad, very
yeah.
bad.
So, like I said, 2007, good season, not great. Tavares Jackson, rest in peace. Here's the ceremonial RIP Tavares Jackson. pour one out. No, I'm not going to pour one out. I'm not going to pour one
Got
out.
your Grand Marnier going on. Yeah.
No, that's actually Makers. So,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, but
Be
so
over
that
there in about 9 hours.
exactly. Right. Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
this is well, this week, as I said, is Packers week, and then next week, for next week's show, we're gonna have to do some schedule switching around because we play that
They're
London game.
going across the pond to play the
Uh,
Jets.
hmm And so this is gonna be a very telling week for us. Like I said, we could walk out 4-0, and everybody in national media will be talking about us. I guarantee you. If we beat the Packers in Green Bay, then we become a story. If we lose to the Packers, you'll hear a lot of people saying, well, paraphrase Dennis Green, the Vikings are who we thought they were. So
But what if they lose a close game?
doesn't matter
Now,
what the score is.
but the other thing is, if Jordan Love comes back and the Packers win, I think it's no big deal. If Malik Willis beats the Vikings, that's a big deal. But I don't think he's got the mystery of that defense. No.
It's
And the fact that they confounded Brock Purdy the way they did, that kid didn't know that kid didn't know what hit him.
okay. I'm glad that this is being recorded for posterity because I want to say this. If Malik Willis beats the Vikings on Sunday, it won't matter what happens because Satan will be having his midwinter ski sale because hell will freeze over. Okay, hell will freeze over if
Take
Malik
this
Willis
down.
beats this. That's exactly if Malik Willis beats this team that just beat Brock Purdy, made him look silly. That just beat C.J. Stroud and made him look silly. If Malik Willis beats us, everybody should be fired. Everybody should be fired. Okay. I mean, the Packers may win, but Malik Willis won't beat them. So, so any closing thoughts, any closing comments, random ideas, things I should know, upcoming?
Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to the trip over to merry old England, but I I'm just hoping that it's Malik Willis that gets the nod, and because wouldn't it be nice going into the week before the bye 4-0? Like you won the first quarter of the season. You swept the first quarter of the season.
Wait.
Going into the bye four
No,
and one.
we can't. You're assuming that we're going to win the game in England, and if we do, we'd be 5-0.
That's true.
Yeah,
but the Jets, I'm not looking ahead.
Okay.
I don't even play for the Vikings. I'm not going to look ahead.
Okay,
I'm just saying,
okay,
boy, this Packers game's going to be something. But
okay, but you said going into the week before the bye 4-0, and we can't go into the week before the bye 4-0 because we have five games before the bye.
Well, the week before the week before. That's
okay,
it.
2 weeks. The 2 weeks.
Yeah,
before. Okay,
2 weeks before the bye.
Okay, the week
like
before the trip.
if we go into this London game 4-0.
Okay.
That's going to look at win, lose or draw. We're going to be okay coming out of the bye week because we're 4-1 or 5-0.
Okay.
That, and I didn't mean that. So
okay.
yeah, you know me, I jumble stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff all wrong. So you can say you're wrong, and let me tell you why.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering if you're saying if with your kind of sneaky way of saying, well, the game against the Jets is going to be a bye. You kind of hinted at that in our preseason
that
picks.
Could well be, but if you have the best receiver in the league running against Sauce Gardner, it might. I'm not going to sleep on the Jets. I will respect every opponent, especially with the fact that everybody had all these low expectations of Minnesota. And I said, man, there are a lot of people in national media that still really like Sam Darnold and just thought, man, the Jets and the Panthers all could have ruined the guy. And the 49ers started picking him up. And now that he is propped up nicely, he's, Kevin O'Connell's just doing a nice job, just, getting him through. And the best thing about it is, the one term that I hate in football is, oh, he's a great game manager. I hate the word game manager. I hate the phrase game manager. But the one thing that he does well is, well, I'm up 22. I'm up 22 points. I don't have to throw the ball. But even when they're up two scores, if it's 3rd and 7, they're going to throw the ball. They're not playing prevent offense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that I'm seeing out of Sam Darnold. Those guys, I saw this coming. I picked them 12-5 this year. So I'm feeling kind of confident. I'm feeling kind of confident now. And yeah, somebody might trip us up along the way. I'm sure someone will trip us up along the way, but hell, we got through the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a push. It's a push in the best sort of way. So
you beat the team you're supposed to beat, like the Giants and anybody else that you beat. If you beat the 49ers, which is arguably one of the two best teams in the NFC, and you beat the Texans, arguably one of the three best teams in the AFC. If you can get those two, which we did, I'm not saying everything else is gravy, but you walk into the locker room and you think, okay, we can do this because we have proof. This isn't a guess. We know we can beat good teams. And
well,
that's where it starts.
and there is another big plus in all this too, and that is that there were a couple of guys that stepped up and said, "Yep, we're next." So now they're not expecting, like Jordan Addison doesn't have to rush himself back to the field. Yeah, dude, you're number 2. We know that. But I got somebody that's I got, what's got him? Jackson. He's going to step up. Brandon Powell made a couple of big catches last week.
Jalen Naylor.
Jalen Naylor has been just super.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Munt, that guy, So there's somebody different every time. And that is something that was severely lacking in the Vikings game, because if the stars are out, we're not winning.
Well,
and now it looked like, and on defense, even Dallas Turner's out, we were still solid on the edge.
That makes it a complete team. That's why I said it's a complete team: offense, defense, and special team. If one guy goes down, next man up. You're not thinking, well, it's a drop off. The way we had it last year, because we had Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Kirk Cousins does not want his backup in the building, and they allowed that. There was no back. So when Kirk went down, it was like, okay, Nick Mullins, or as everybody's come to know him, Diet Brett Favre, steps in, and it's like he's throwing the ball all over the place. Yeah, Favre light. Yeah, he throws the ball all over the place. Like, okay, well, now what do we do? Well, let's see. Do we have a third string? Do we have a fourth string? Oh, it turns out we don't. Well, can we go find somebody? Well, at this point in the season, anybody that you find on the couch is on the couch for a reason. So, I mean, it's good to know that not just like the old Chris Carter, Jake Reed, and Randy Moss 3 deep posters. We're 3 deep at the quarterback position. We're 3 deep at cornerback. We're 3 deep at linebacker. We're 3 deep at safety. We're 3 deep at running back. Listen, TJ Hawkinson hasn't caught a pass yet. So our big money tight end, pass receiving tight end, our number 2 weapon from 2 years ago, not on the field. Jordan Addison, not on the field. He could have been suspended and we wouldn't have missed him. So this is where you want to be. It's where you want to be. It's where I certainly am happy to be here with this team.
Yeah.
All right. So any closing remarks? Any more closing remarks? Those were some closing remarks. Well, before I said, one thing that we did talk about, and one thing I did a quick promo about, is I'm going to start having some guests. I want to pop a few people on here, a couple of fans, maybe Vikings fans, maybe somebody counterpoint from an opposition. You said you knew somebody who was a Colts fan. Gonna try
I
to have him
do.
on. Okay. I wouldn't have a Packer fan on this show because I know this is YouTube and not governed by the FCC, but it would be difficult for me to control my language. So I'm not gonna have a Packer fan on the show. No, just kidding. I love the Packer fans. I hate the Packers.
Dumb, 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 dumb. No, Pack, no.
No. It's like the Packer fans, unfortunately, are some of the nicest people I've ever had the pleasure of being around. So I can't hate on them, but I have no love for the team. But I said
There you
I
go.
have. I'm looking forward to talking to other Vikings fans, having them on the show. I'm looking forward to having some opposition fans and some random guests. So
Well, hey, we'll see you next week at the QR code when we'll be 4-0.
let's say for now, 4-0 would be a good thing. That's it. And
Four
hopefully
and
you're
zero is
right.
the way to go.
4-0 is the way to go. Print a T-shirt. So, so for the QR code, I'm Razor,
I'm Q.
and we'll see you next time.
All right, take care. Bye.
Let's go.